Hey folks, Jason Palliser here, the No Flipping Excuses channel. Jason Lucchesi should be on in a minute. And so we're happy to have you. As we get ready to kick things off, we're going to talk about a lot of things related to the market and what does a recession do. We just want to bulletproof your business against whatever comes up. Been doing this 25 plus years. So I've been through these cycles two times. This will be the third time. And what do we do about that? Now, before we get started, if you haven't already done it, go ahead and like our channel and subscribe to it. Just like on the last one, we let everybody know we spent months and months putting together some good content that we're going to slowly deliver out to you. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as we're going through, just comment and we will respond to those comments. And if you want to hear more on a certain subject, let us know. And then that'll kind of dictate to us what items we work on next for you. So now, having said that, as we get ready to get started here, everybody is concerned about what's going to go on in this marketplace when there is uncertainty. Everybody talks about a recession, right? So hey, there's a recession coming. I'm feeling it now. I'm feeling the pinch. There's a lot of things happening. Inflation, right? Things cost more. And when you couple that with higher interest rates, which is what you see happening in the marketplace right now, that puts pressure. And whether it's, we're talking real estate related things, but let's take a sidestep for a second. Think about this. So doesn't matter what it is, whether it's real estate or other businesses, when almost any business has to pay more for goods, then they're going to pass that along to the consumer. That puts pressure. If they're not selling as much because things cost more, then they can't have as many employees. Then people get laid off. Hey Jay, what's up?
Hey, as usual, we had some technical difficulties on our end, so thank you, everybody, for being patient. I know we've got a hot topic to dive into today, so been listening to you the whole time, Jay. So I don't want to roll on to your parade here. So go ahead.
Oh yeah. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff today. So look, so it's not just the real estate investment business in general. It's all businesses. Meaning this: if there's pressure because things cost more and higher interest rates. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people that are in business have business loans so they can buy more inventory, because if they buy inventory in bulk, they get it cheaper, which makes their business healthy, which means they can keep people employed. I could go on and on and on and go down this path with you folks. But the bottom line is this: when there's pressure in the marketplace and we feel a recession coming in, things are tightening up, things cost more, interest rates are higher, loans come due, notes come due on loans. Not all loans are 30-year fixed, folks. By and large, a lot of them are not, which means that they come up for renewal. If all of a sudden you go from a 3% interest rate to an 8% interest rate, that doesn't work, right? And so everybody feels the pinch and pressure. So what do I do? What do we do? Hey, Jason, I want to invest, and we're going to be talking about that on today's YouTube Live here. So what happens, and then what do we do about it? There's several things that we could do about it. Jay, I don't know if you want to chime in on, what it's looking like in the marketplace. We know some banks failed, stuff like that, but we're gonna talk today about different things that you can do. Where most investors are like, well, I guess I might have to take a breather because things, gosh, if I do a rehab, it costs more, blah, blah. These are all the things that we're laying the foundation to have our conversation about. And then people sit on the sidelines.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you just, talked about with market cycles and whatnot, they happen. And we wanted to address how to pivot properly in market cycles. It doesn't matter in an up, down, sideways market. We know how things work. And if you pivot correctly, you're going to be able to shift your business and still see profitability coming in on your bottom line. So one of the things too, Jay, that we could talk about on today's session is a lead source that, will never have an issue in any type of markets. And that is assisting people that are living at senior living communities, Jay. One of the things I was going to show people until the technical difficulties came on is show people how to get in with folks on LinkedIn, using LinkedIn and getting to facilities that you could get to gatekeepers that have individuals at these senior living communities that need to sell their house, and they need to do it because they need the funds to continue to pay for their senior living community. Plus, Jay, you know about this too. They need to completely bleed out all funds. So if they need to down the road get approved for Medicare, Medicaid, that needs to happen. And we know really well that this lead source is really good. And if you get in with 2 or 3 facilities, that's kind of going to take care of all of your issues as far as like leads coming into your pipeline.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're working with one right now with one of our blueprint clients that has a facility that's in 12 states. And they're like, we want to roll you out. We want to roll you and your services out across all those states. And so I hope as you're listening to this, what you're hearing out of Jason Lucchesi's mouth and then my mouth subsequently is this. What Jason just said is he just talked to you about a lead source that's recession proof. People have health issues, then they need assistance, right? That happens no matter if the market's hot or if it's in a recession, it really doesn't matter, right? So that's a lead source that can be an endless pipeline for you if you go after that, because as Jason said, and you may or may not be aware, and this is here's where we talk about things that you can do in a recession. Here's one lead source to go after. And we'll talk about some other things that we can do to where other investors sit on the sidelines because they're worried about a recession, where you can absolutely pounce and have less competition. That's what we're talking about here. So take good notes, like this, subscribe to our channel because we got more good stuff coming. Make some comments, ask questions. The more you ask questions, we'll answer them, but then we also might go live with another. If there's several of you saying, hey, I want more information on this, then we'll do it, right? So having said that, this lead source is recession proof. Things happen to people, and let's expand on what Lucchesi said. They can't have, you may or may not be aware of this. If someone goes into an assisted living facility or a situation like that, senior living community, they can't have excess funds, because what happens is once they go in there, when they deplete their funds, if they still have a house as an asset, cars, this and that, other tangible assets of value, then they don't qualify for the programs that kick in for seniors that have run out of money, which means that facility is now having to wait on somebody to go sell an asset, yet you're out of money now. You see where that wouldn't work, right? So what they do is they educate the people, usually the loved ones of the person they're putting in there, and saying, hey, here are the rules. One of the rules is you got to divest those assets. Because once somebody goes into those facilities, it's very rare that they come out and just go back to where they used to live, right? So that's an opportunity for you. A high percentage of the time, there's a property that needs to be sold, and a property that has 30 years of trophies piled up in it. Yeah. And so the loved ones are like, we're not going to fix this. We're not going to paint it. What do we do? They live in a world, and this is where you think as an investor here, okay? Regular people, which we're surrounded by all of them, right, that aren't real estate investors, go, well, we got to fix this up. We got to paint it. One of the gutters, what's up from Oregon? What of the gutters needs to be fixed? The fence in the backyard in the corner is broken. They're like, before we talk to a real estate agent, we're going to have to do all this work, and it's going to take us months and months and months. Yet our loved one has a problem right now. So this is a lead source that if you become good at creating a ongoing working relationship with these facilities, saying, hey, we can solve the asset problem. We'd love to talk to you about helping people get into your community, get in the right way, and be an asset for you in that realm. Then you can actually have a lead source that's recession proof, because people run into health issues, whether the economy's great or the economy's going the other direction. So that's just one thing from an investor standpoint that you can look at to start to do things in a market where everybody goes, gosh, what do I do next? I'm worried about that.
So Bruce asked if these are taped. Yeah, this is on YouTube. So this will stay on YouTube, and you can watch it at a later date if you want. And let's see here. Eric asked, that only works if only one spouse is left living. Also, many set up a trust. So, Eric, unfortunately, not a lot of people do set up trusts. It's a very small percentage. Most go to probate. Most go through the probate process. What we're talking about here is almost essentially like a pre-probate strategy. And even if, let's just say, mom and dad are both in the senior living community, they still need help. Okay. And real estate agents have tough times sometimes selling the properties when they're known for selling them on retail, and they have a property that hasn't been updated since the 80s, and carpet needs done, walls need painting, roof is dilapidated. There's a lot of issues that come into play here. And it doesn't matter if mom and dad are both at the facility and you have the children that need to take care of it. There's property taxes that still need to be paid. If there's no mortgage on it, perfect. But sometimes if there's a small mortgage, maybe mom and dad had the property for 30 years, but maybe they did a refinance 15 years ago. There's still going to be a mortgage on there, and there's still an opportunity for us to get involved from a pre-probate standpoint, because this will give the heirs, the children in most cases, that will give them an opportunity to allow mom and dad to have peace of mind to live out, their remaining years at the senior living community without having to come home. A lot of times, though, I agree with you, Jason. Sometimes they will come home when they get on hospice. That's what happened with us. My mother-in-law came home. We didn't know how quick it was going to be. She was gone in about 30, 45 days when we took her out of the senior living community. She was in a memory care unit. And once we brought her home, that was it. But we had to deplete the assets if she ever wanted to get approved, because she was pretty young still, Jay. She was, I believe, 67, 68.
Yeah. So what you're talking about here, and again, Eric brought up a good point, and Eric's actually helping me expand on the point that I was making. I said, if you get good at it, if you get good at creating a win-win and an ongoing relationship with these facilities, there's different rules that are in play. States have different rules. So what would a takeaway be? Hey, Carol. Hi. What would a takeaway be?
Yes,
this
we're
is
live.
live, Carol. What would a takeaway be if, if you knew what the rules are for your area? Do you know how easy it is to have conversation with people that have these situations come up? And by the way, people don't plan these situations. We're talking about one lead source right now in a tough, oh my God, here comes a recession environment, right? So there's always some education on your part. So a takeaway from this video would be, you know what? I'm gonna go on Google and I'm gonna search, what are the rules for putting a loved one in an assisted living facility or senior care facility in the state of North Carolina, in the state of Maryland, in the state of Illinois, and just read up on it for 5 minutes, copy and paste a few links, email it to yourself so that you're well read on it, so you can start having conversations. Hey, I'd like to be a solution. I know that when somebody comes in, they got to do X, Y, Z. I'd like to have a conversation with you. We can help on the asset side. And so that's just you spending 5 to 10 minutes getting educated and getting the material to read through for your state and area so that you're prepared. This is one lead source that we go after, and it has nothing to do with what the economic environment of our country is right now. That's just one way that we can pull back the curtain and start attacking. We can pull back the curtain and start attacking a lead source that most investors don't even know to go after, and it has nothing to do with what the economic environment looks like in today's marketplace.
Yeah, and Bruce is asking, would networking with elder law attorneys squash deals? I always thought lawyers and CPAs squash deals. No. So what we're talking about is something different. We're talking about working with the individuals that most of the time it's going to be a director at the senior living community that normally handles like the finance portion for those individuals. So my wife went through this 10K a month. Yeah. So it could get expensive. I know when we were with memory care unit for my mother-in-law, it was like $5,500 a month. So it gets pricey. They need these funds as soon as possible. The other thing is you could work hand in hand with some of these attorneys for affidavit of death deals. So that's when the spouse does pass away, and then they file a quitclaim deed so that the spouse now, the surviving spouse, can get on title solely by themselves. And that in that case is affidavit of death. So you could work with them. And the other thing too is if you want to get involved with an attorney that does handle trust, because not everybody does do trusts or they do estate planning the right way, you can network with them because that won't go through the probate process. So those are even more highly qualified opportunities for you to work with family members and try and help them during, a tough time.
Yeah. So, and again, now let's talk about some other lead sources, Jason. So, you may or may not, depending on your state, you're in Florida too, Carol. Sounds good. I'm in California right now. I'm actually at an Airbnb that my wife and I are staying at for the next few days in Carlsbad, California, near San Diego, folks. But here's another lead source for you. You can look up for your area. Some counties make it really easy. I would go online and search for mortgage lists, people that have done mortgages in your area, and I'd look for ones that have done adjustable rate mortgages. So if you can unlock that particular lead qualifier, now you have people that are on adjustable rate mortgages that got a mortgage that was fixed for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and now it's set to adjust. Those adjustments, that's a lead source during this is where you use the economic pressures to your advantage. Okay, this is where you use it to your advantage because if it adjusts right now, it may go up. Some of them on the adjustable rate mortgages say, hey, your rate's 4.5 right now. It can go up 2% every year with a cap of 6% over the next 5 years after that first initial period is done. So they may go from 4.5 to 6.5, which takes it from a property that they can afford to a property that they can no longer afford. They haven't missed payments yet. Hope you're paying attention. They haven't missed payments yet. But now all of a sudden, $300,000 mortgage that goes up 2% is an extra $500 a month, $600 a month. And now all of a sudden they get something happen with their car. Those two things together create an environment to where now they have pressure. And that's somebody that I want to talk to because maybe they want to sell. Because the economic environment just so happens put that person in front of me because the situation presented itself because now there's pressure on them. So that is a very good lead source if you can go after that you can help homeowners out while also making a good living as a real estate investor. And that's one that a lot of people don't think about or go after. And
did you see yesterday interest rates now for 30 years? I saw Inman News posted they're right above 7%. So these are prime deals right now that you just went over. It works for residential and commercial because it works even more effectively for commercial because most of these people are on balloons. So you've got 5 years, 7 years, and 10-year balloons that are coming due. So if you want to use this as well, like on apartment deals, this works exceptionally well in conjunction if you want to do it from a residential standpoint, because like you said, Jay, we both were in the mortgage business for a long time. We saw a lot of people go into foreclosure because as soon as those adjustable rate mortgage terms, they level out, that 6% interest rate now goes to 9, 10, 11%, and it makes the payment completely unattainable for them on a monthly basis.
Yeah, absolutely. Without a doubt. So, and again, like Jason said, you may or may not be aware of that. This is, we put this channel together to educate you and teach you. One of the things that Jason just mentioned, so file this away in your brain, is that you can just go to your local bank. Hey, can I talk to one of your commercial loan officers and say, hey, I'm interested in some commercial assets. I know you have clients on the books because commercial loan officers typically get a commercial loan done for a commercial property owner. They manage their portfolio. I don't know if you're aware of that, folks. Most bankers like Jason and I are brokers. we'll do a loan and it gets sold off. We don't manage the home loans that we did, right? The commercial loan officers usually get a loan approved at loan committee for a commercial property, and then they manage that portfolio. So if they have $70 million in assets between 150 clients, well, those loans are typically 3 or 5 year, typically maximum 7-year loans, which means after that, it's called a renewable note. Hey, after this, it's up for renewal. The bank doesn't have to renew it. So what would that mean to you? What would be good for you to know is this. These commercial loan officers manage the loans that they got approved, and they go to a committee usually once a week. The ones that I work with is usually on a Tuesday. And they sit in front of the bank board members and be like, hey, I've got $6 million in new assets that I'm trying to get approved. My portfolio is performing well. I only have a 2% delinquency rate. This is up for renewal. That's up for renewal. And at those meetings, the bank may say, hey, look, we're done lending to strip malls. Think about this. This is where we teach you here in an economic environment. They're like, hey, look, interest rates are up. You're going to have to renew a lot of these assets. We don't really want to renew. We have too much exposure on strip centers. In our city, nobody's lent on more strip centers than we do. We want to kind of divest that. So when these loans come up for renewal, the commercial loan officer now has to go back to their client that they got their loan approved on and say, hey, look, we're not going to renew you. Hear what I'm saying? We're not going to renew you. What's up from Colorado? And so now all of a sudden a commercial property owner is going, wow, my bank is not going to renew this. That happens. Bad things happen to good people. Independent, like if a bank is full on doing land development for builders, and I've had that because I've worked with them for years on the mortgage side, where I was a preferred lender for several builders. They're like, yeah, I'm shopping around town because most of the banks in town are saying, hey, we're done with the development stuff because interest rates have gone up. They know it's going to be harder for us to sell 50 assets, right? Why is that important to you folks? This means that what's your responsibility? Let's boil it down to what you could do after our video today. And again, like, share, comment, subscribe to our channel. You can call all your local banks, ask to talk to the commercial loan officer, and be like, hey, do you have any assets that are coming due that you're not going to renew? I'd like to get them off your books because I know you need to manage your portfolio and clean it up, and go to your board members and let them know what you're up to. I'd love to help you on any asset that you think that you need to move, or any asset that could be in distress. You see how it doesn't always have to be in distress? I'm teaching you how to talk to these commercial loan officers. If you just come in, hey man, if you got any bad apples on the books, I'm willing to take them off your hands, man, and work with you ongoing. They're like, okay, Mr. New Investor, right? So we're teaching you how to talk to them on a higher level. Look, anything that you're not going to renew, here's how you create a relationship with them immediately, because you talk the talk. You know what's important to them. Hey, not only any distressed assets or property owner that is falling on hard times. I get all that, but anything that you're not going to renew, your bank's full on this type of loan. I would love an opportunity to see what I can do to help you clean up that portfolio, and tell you that I might be interested in get it off your books so that your portfolio is healthy and managed the way that your bank wants it. If you talk in those terms, you may all of a sudden get 3 leads a month, 3 good leads a month, and I always like to sprinkle this in. 3 leads a month with no competition. You get what I'm saying, right? You're getting a direct lead from somebody who manages a portfolio of commercial assets with no competition. What's your responsibility? Block out time, talk to 10 or 15 of them at the local bank level. I would do it at the local bank and credit union level, not the Bank of America, because they usually have people in other states managing the assets because they're so large. Do you think a loan officer, Carol? Yes. If you create the relationship with them, I lived in this space for 27 years. I literally sat across the table like I'm sitting right now and had conversations with other banker friends of mine. They're like, yeah, I'm going to, and again, it had no bearing on what I was doing. So I wasn't trying to solicit information out of them. We were just having a casual conversation like, yeah, it's going to be awkward. I have 14 builders that are submitting more land that they want to develop to us, and us to get the money, give them the money to develop it. And I'm going to have to tell them all no. Hey, our bank said that we put a freeze on approving any strip mall loans for the next 18 months. And they're just casually telling me that, right? So if you create a relationship with them, and I always want to make sure that you understand this part. Once you move one asset for them, they'll give them all to you. I hope you understand that. Without competition, without having to buy some big list and talk to 5,000 people and everybody says it's not for sale. And then somebody tells you, well, just be consistent and follow up. That's baby land. Okay. We're talking about recession time. Banks change what they will and won't lend on. And all you're doing is creating a relationship with them. Say, I'd love to talk to you about that. And there's commercial property owners, monthly clubs. Most of you just go to the real estate investment clubs, find out where the commercial people and the commercial brokers hang out. If you have a relationship with the bank and all of a sudden you have 6 unknown assets to the rest of the market and say, hey, does anybody want to move this off the books? You may make $100,000. They're like, hey, I'll do that. You think they'd be willing to take XYZ? And you work the deal and you make $100,000 off of a relationship that you created. This is not hard, folks. We're just talking about things that you can do when there's uncertainty in the marketplace. And what are we talking about uncertainty wise? Banks change what they will and won't lend on when there's uncertainty, recession coming. They tighten their belts. You should have the relationship so you know what banks won't want. And the fun part is, and think about this. The fun part of this is this. When I know 12 different banks that I've just created a relationship with, this one's still lending on land for development. This one is not. This one is still okay with doing commercial strip malls. This one is not. I can start talking to everyone else in town. Hey, just want to let you know they're still lending on strip malls. Hey, thanks, Jason. Hey, if I can help you in any other way, let me know. If you got something to unload or you need help on anything, just let me know. I'm the network. I'm the broker of brokers on real estate transactions, whether it's residential, commercial. We're just talking about different things that you can do instead of going, wow, there's a recession coming. I guess I'm going to have to sit on the sidelines. Go ahead, Jay.
Hey, so really quick, Jay, I'm going to ask you this. Do you think I should share with them a free source that they could find local banks in their area, all of them, and also from a regional level too? Like, I 100% agree with you. The Bank of Americas, the Chases, Wells Fargo's, the big banks like that, they will not be the source that we're talking about here. Do you think I should share that right now?
Absolutely not. No, let's not share it.
Yeah, right, well, I guess we're not sharing. Well, go ahead, drop a comment. And if you guys want me to share it, put in yes, please share. Would love to talk to you about this. So as we start seeing comments coming in here, yes, please share. Here's the deal. You head on over to a site called BauerFinancial.com. So BAUER financial.com. And Jay, that pulls up all 50 states. That pulls up for banks. That pulls up for credit unions, all of them. So you could just go in, you could find your local bank in your area. And then what you could do from there, and Jay, I know this is more of like a high level tip here, but you could take that information, go to LinkedIn, look for the bank on LinkedIn. Now here's an insider tip. You can go on that page on LinkedIn and you could see all of the employees that work at the bank. So now you don't even have to leave. So Jay, I know you like that because it's what you call it, the
no gas. That's right.
No gas. Yes. I love it. So put on your thinking caps right now, folks. What I want you to do is look at all of the employees that work at that bank, because
I'm going to hit you.
Start getting in contact with all of the, loan officers, loan workout officers. You can get in contact with asset managers at the banks. So Jay, that's a really great strategy for getting direct contact and, completely bypassing the gatekeepers.
Yes, correct. And yes, if you don't have to leave your house, folks, to do this, it's called the No Gas Money Spent program, right, Jay?
Love it.
He said to put on your thinking caps. He was teasing me yesterday. We are live on YouTube. I'm going to call Jason out right now.
Oh,
Lucchesi. He's like, do you know how many times you say, hey, put on your thinking cap? So on this video, I want you to rewatch this video, folks. I haven't said put on your thinking caps. I said file it away in your memory. I did say that, but I did not say put on your thinking caps, even though you should.
Link again. It's bauerfinancial.com. Could we put that in the pop-ups, Mike? We'll put it in the comments, or not the comments. You'll see it right scroll across the screen here, and then LinkedIn as well.
Somebody chimed in. Again, that's what feedback is for, folks. Ask us questions, and if we catch it while we're live, then we'll expand on it if we can and we have time. If not, we will answer that, and stay tuned. The more you ask certain questions, the more we'll do more videos on that subject. So ask away. One person said, hey, joined a little bit late. What do you mean by banks not renewing their assets? We were talking about commercial loans. Commercial loans typically are not a fixed loan like a regular homeowner. Meaning when you go to a bank, like right now, I have one on a property that we're renovating. It's a multifamily. It's a 3-month renewable note. Or I'm sorry, not 3 month, 3-year renewable note. So at the end of 36 months, I have no choice. I have to renew the note. And I have to renew the note at whatever prevailing interest rates are. Because we're 2 years into that note. 2 years ago, I think we were at 4.75. If I renew it right now, I'm going to be at 8.25. That hurts me. We have equity, we'll still have cash flow, but that hurts me. So you become best friends with commercial loan officers at local banks. That's what we were talking about, just to catch you up. And we're just talking about, what do you do when there's economic uncertainty, and economic uncertainty has higher interest rates? What happens? What do we do as a smart investor in an environment where there's higher interest rates? We're just talking to you about it right now. We can also evaluate deals, Jason, if it's okay, I'll talk about that. We can evaluate deals differently. Well, what do we do, man? The environment's tightening up. I feel like sellers still want a high amount, even though interest rates are higher, and they should be more reasonable on price. What do? I feel like I don't have any lead flow. I'm not closing deals and this and that, all that stuff, folks. Well, we can look at deals differently than most investors do. Most investors look at it like a fix and flip. That's tougher to do in a higher interest rate environment because you have less buyers. Doesn't mean you can't. It's just tougher to do. Man, it's harder to wholesale. They're still holding on to their thought pattern of a higher value for their house, even though they should be more reasonable in price because interest rates are higher. That's going to happen, but then you feel like you don't have lead flow, right? What if you started having conversations and talking to homeowners differently? And actually, now I'm going to talk about blending. So here's some good high-level stuff. Let's talk about blending a couple techniques. And in fact, I think any of you that watch this that know me, we live in Florida. We're in California right now, Southern California, Carlsbad, Oceanside, San Diego. And in this environment, I'm going to give you a real live lead that we're here evaluating to try and knock down. So Jay, is it okay if I break it down for him?
Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, I will. Let's do this. If everybody wants to hear that, the breakdown from Jay, make sure you type it in the comments section. Yes, would love to hear more about that. Let us know. We'd love to get a little bit more engagement from you guys so that we know that you are enjoying this, you like it. And as you guys are commenting, make sure you click the button below. Make sure you become a subscriber if you aren't already. We would love to make sure you get notified of brand new videos just like this. We have a ton that we're going to be sharing with you. We're going to be probably doing 3 videos a week here starting very, very soon. So would love to have you as a subscriber.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead. Start sharing it, Jay.
What's up, Ron? Hey, Lorraine. Okay. So in an environment where other investors are like, man, I don't have lead flow and I don't know what to do. And hey, I'm worried. I don't want to make a mistake. And yeah, you know what? Flipping a house is dicier when interest rates are higher. You have less buyers. And in a market like this where it's inflation, things cost more. That could be a scarier endeavor. So what you do is you pivot, right? One of the ways that you can pivot is evaluate deals differently, to put in a different sandbox. Okay. So let's put it in a different investment sandbox. What you could do, these are things that you could do. I would say to run it through your filter, every asset or every opportunity I look at, I'm going to look at it like a flip, a wholesale of this, of that. And one of my favorites is as an Airbnb. I'm in an Airbnb right now in Carlsbad, California right now. And I'm going to use a specific one that we're looking at right now in this environment. The environment that we're talking about, the tougher economic environment right now, has created this potential lead. And because of this, it also opened the door to do this deal differently. So on both ends, this environment has helped. Here's what I mean by that. We have a property that we're evaluating over here in Southern California, near Carlsbad. And I'm just going to kind of go through it with you start to finish. One of our clients brought it over to myself and Jess, and they're like, hey, Jason, we have a lady, she's an attorney, her and her brother own this property, and they own a couple other ones. She's retiring and she wants to move, I think, to Hawaii. And she had some other family stuff that she wanted to do. Interest rates are high. The house needs, this particular property needs work. Okay. And interest rates are higher. And over here in this area, it's very expensive. So even if you're listening right now and I start to throw out numbers and you think you couldn't do a deal like this, if you pay attention the whole time, you're like, well, when you put it like that, Jason, all of a sudden this could be a deal that I could actually evaluate. Because here's what's happening. She doesn't really want to fix it up and to go try and get a loan right now on this asset with higher interest rates. It's really just, it isn't that she couldn't do it. It's just going to be more expensive, time consuming. And that's not where she's at, her and her brother, on this asset in their time of their life right now. They don't want to do it. Time, energy, higher interest rates. So it created a situation where they were open to talking to us. Okay. So the environment created a situation where they're like, you know what, we might want to just move on from this asset because I want to do something else. So the environment put it in front of us. That's one. Two, if I was looking at it like a regular fix and flip, like I just told you, I might not want to do it. Because here's why. Guess what she wants for the property? It's a 4-unit that is a ocean view. It's not the last street that's on the ocean, but it's one street removed, and literally the cul-de-sac looks out over into the ocean. So it is prime real estate. It's a 4-unit. Like I said, it's also allowable to turn the garage into a 5th unit. So it's multifamily, but it needs $500,000 in work. And if I looked at it like a flip, okay, $500,000, and here's what she wants for it. She wants $3 million. So as you're listening to this, a lot of you are like, oh, okay, well, I'll listen, Jason, just so I can learn something. But dude, that's out of my price range. Well, here, I don't want to try and close on a deal and drop $3 million on an asset either. So pay attention. Okay. So here in conversation is what again, this is doing things differently when people think that you need to sit on the sidelines because of the environment. What we did was this. We said, hey, look, we know you don't want to fix it up. We know you kind of want to be done with the asset. Is this a situation where, I know you have other properties. I know you don't need the money, but you don't want the headache. Is there any way that you could owner finance this to us? Okay, I'm going to blend two things here. So one is, now I'm approaching something owner financing wise. Someone else already owns the asset. Can you owner finance it to me? She said, yeah, if you could get me my number, because we'd probably come in at 2.7, maybe. She's like, well, I want $3 million. I'm like, if you owner finance it, and she's open to this, folks. This is one that I'm in California right now. We just went by the property. We've got 2 bids on it for the fix up that's needed. So this is a live lead based upon environment that we're in right now. And so here's what's going down. She said that she is open to owner financing it to us, but she wants her number of $3 million. I said, okay, if you could do that and we do a 0% interest rate, that's called a unicorn loan for me that I can't go to get at a bank right now. If you're open to that, then I'll give you your number. And I told her, and again, this is the stuff that we're getting ready to go into with her. We've already broached the subject with her, so she's open to it. My next step is to say, hey, we'll do it on a 5-year or 7-year balloon, meaning I'll make payments. We'll agree on a payment, $10,000 a month. And again, pay attention, because I know some of you are listening and go, well, Jason, this deal is dead to me for $10,000 a month. No, it's not. Listen, pay attention. And so we'll pay you $10,000 a month and a 5-year balloon means after 5 years, I got to pay you off, right? Or a 7-year, whatever we can squeeze out of her. I hope she's not watching this. And so that means every dollar that we make to her goes off the balance, which is cool. Here's why it makes it a deal. If you blend two techniques together, the environment has created the situation where like, yeah, we don't want to go get a higher interest rate loan and fix it up. That's not what we want to do. But I want my number. The reason she hasn't sold is like, everybody hits me at 2.5. Well, what if you finance it and we gave you your number and then pay you off? So you make a few extra $100,000. She goes, oh, she's interested. Okay. But pay attention here, folks. I don't want to pay $3 million for a property. Certainly don't want to go get a loan and a loan I'll have to put on that size of loan, probably 30% down. I don't want to do that. I could. I don't want to do that. I never want to do that. So the fact that she's willing to owner finance, it means I don't got to get a bank loan. Okay, one. No paycheck stubs, tax returns, W-2s, asset statements, wait for the bank, pull my credit, do all that stuff. None of that. She'll just finance it, which means it's never on my credit report. Doesn't affect me whatsoever. I can get in potentially for 100% financing. It's probably going to be $350, $400 to fix it up. I could partner with somebody else on that. So just let's shelf that for a second. But here's what I want you to understand. I'm blending owner financing with, we're looking at this property as an Airbnb. 99% of all of you as investors back, oh, they want that for the property. Man, I'm not going to, she's stuck on 3 million. Okay, that's not a deal. It's not a league. Plus, that's out of my league. No, it's not. Here's why. We ran the numbers. Jason, just as a stab in the dark, I'm putting you on the spot. And again, I'll reveal it to everybody. But guess what each unit as an Airbnb right on the water in Southern California, guess what each unit conservatively will produce an income per year? Just each unit out of the 4.
I'd probably say it's what, 400 or 500 a night.
Yeah. So per year though, like 30 grand, 2 million,
well,
100 grand.
Going off of that, yeah, I would probably say, without looking at a calculator, yeah, it would probably be easily 100, 150 grand a year.
Not per unit. So 50 to 60 grand per unit. Okay. So now let's think about this, folks. If we're paying her 10 grand a month and each unit can produce 5 grand a month, that is, we're paying her 10 grand and we're bringing in 20. Now, I already said earlier that it's also set up to where you could turn the garage into another unit. Okay. So now it's 25 grand a month. That's a deal that all of you could do if you blended somebody that just wants their number, which no investor's willing to pay because the investor's here, but they want this back. If you owner finance it and give me 5 years, I'll pay you off. Now it's a deal that everybody can do. And so hear me when
and Jay, why don't we talk about why this would be advantageous for somebody that would want to do that, like a seller, like the tax ramifications if they just sell it outright right now, the pool of buyers, like you alluded to just a little bit ago, that might be a major problem because where interest rates are right now, that's a very high value loan. So we're talking like that might not even happen.
Yeah. Why do you think? Okay. So why do you think this deal is in front of us? Everyone else has approached it the traditional way, Jason. And they're like, that this lady and her brother know that the buyer pool is next to nothing for their property because it needs work. And unless they want to come off the price, a regular investor isn't going to buy the property at the price they want and then put more money into it. They know it. So they've never entertained it. But we said, hey, what if we do give you your number? Instead of like every other investor you've talked to that wants 400 grand less, 500 grand less. Then she's like, yeah, I'll talk to my brother. I think we might be interested in that. And now it's a deal that we could do because we can get it fixed up. I can partner with somebody. And now it will cash flow. And every dollar we pay her goes off the balance of the property. All fixed up, it's probably worth 4 million, 4.1. We could be into it for 3.4, right? And where most of you think that you couldn't do that, you can partner with another investor. Somebody said, hey, would you partner with us on a deal? You bring us a smoking deal. We're investors. We'll always look at anything that comes our way. But we're out here right now, my wife and I in Southern California, identifying and going through everything in this asset. We just had a phone call. We say, hey, there's some outside work. We've already got interior bids for the property. There's some outside work that we want bids on. And then we're going to have a hardcore conversation and see if we can get this deal done. This economic environment has presented this deal to us. And what do we want you to take from this? When interest rates are higher, sellers have less people to sell to. You talk to them differently in this environment, which is, would you be willing to own or finance it? If they had a loan instead of owner financing, hey, if I give you a chunk of money down, could I take over your existing financing at 3%, knowing that I can only get it at 8%? Well, now all of a sudden you have an asset that you have control of, which you didn't even have to technically buy it. These are the things that you can do in this economic environment. But that property, we're making a serious run at that thing because the $5,000 a month for each unit is conservative. It might be closer to 6 or 6.5. And so it's an absolute bona fide home run if we can owner finance that property, which they said they're open to doing. And so the economic environment presented that lead to us because they have a much smaller buyer pool. And then we're blending that they said that they'd be open to owner financing it because that gives them the money they want. It gives us what we want. We don't have to get a loan. And then we can turn around and Airbnb this thing right on the water in Southern California at ground zero for a great place to be.
And Jay, hey, somebody mentioned something about Florida with, some of the Airbnb laws down there with, excluding beach areas possibly. When we were down there and Mike and I were, strolling where we do some of our event stuff, we found a property that we wanted to possibly make an offer on. And they said, hey, you got to have it for 30 days. It's a 30-day rental. You could still B&B it. And I know we've got an extensive training, the B&B Profits Blueprint, which is going to be released here probably in the next couple of weeks. So if you guys would like to get in on the first round of beta testing on that, we will be having an opportunity for that. Go ahead and drop a comment below if you would like more information on that, because it's going to be highly exclusive. We're only allowing only a small amount for our first round of beta testing to go through the training. And it goes in more detail of what Jason just said with, capturing these properties and being able to put seller financing on them. But Jay, why don't you talk a little bit? We've got a workaround for the 30-day rule and some of the other stuff. Why don't we kind of briefly talk about that, and we could cover some more B&B stuff because it's an exciting topic.
Yeah, and we don't need to go down some long rabbit hole. It's pretty simple. There are rules. You need to find out what the rules are for your area. And as you listen to this, some of you are like, oh yeah, in my area, I heard you can't do it. You probably haven't spent more than 5 minutes understanding what the rules are. People off the cuff say that, but what you may or may not be aware of, some areas may say, yeah, you can. People say you can't Airbnb because people think of 3-day bookings for a long weekend or 4-day bookings. But some areas you can absolutely Airbnb where you think you can't, or you heard that you can't, as long as you know the rules are, hey, they have to have a 5-day stay or more. So you could have them, anybody that books for a 5-day stay, but you could still price it for a 3-day stay and still make way more than regular rent. That's one way. That's one way to blend what the rules are for your area and still do an Airbnb that way outpaces your normal rental rate for the area. Another thing Jason already mentioned is that some areas say, hey, you need to do 30-day bookings. Okay. So you need to do 30-day bookings and you can Airbnb, but it's got to be a 30-day booking. There's longer stays. So there's nurses. So you could buy a property near a hospital and there's traveling nurses. I'm sure you've all heard the phrase traveling nurses. You could have somebody that's staying because they're a traveling nurse that's on a 90-day rotation, and that absolutely qualifies. So there's tons of stuff that you could do. You could have a property that you live in most of the time and just rent out by the room. Don't know if you're aware of that. You may have a 4-bedroom place and explode the revenue where Airbnb rules don't apply if you're just renting out a room on your quote unquote primary property. And so there's tons of stuff that you can do. As Jason said, we just finished up all the videos for the B&B Profit Blueprint. So it's kind of a fun dovetail. So that's coming soon. So stay tuned for that. It's absolutely my favorite back-end cash flowing asset. We actually did a training where we walked through, and I think we also did it on a video a week or two ago on the channel, if I'm not mistaken, or it's coming out, where we just worked in reverse and told everybody, hey, instead of needing 40 cash flowing assets to be financially free and do vacations and never worry again, you might only need 5 Airbnbs. That means you guys are a lot closer to the finish line than you think. But again, we're talking about an uncertain market and what we can do. One of the things we can do is ask for owner financing. We can do, hey, we'll take over your existing financing. What do you need to solve your problem right now? Because there's not a lot of buyers in the marketplace because interest rates are higher. What if I just gave you $5,000 down, 10 grand down to solve a problem and then took over your financing for you so you can move on? Okay. So nurses are great. They make good money. Yeah. And they rent out the property and they're working long shifts. They're not there just anchoring in your property. There's tons of net tangible benefits. Could not agree with you more on that, Eric. So these are things that you can do in an economic environment that's uncertain. Like we're here. We got on a 5-hour flight from Florida to California. We're evaluating this asset and we just drove it. What's up, Tim? We just drove it. Drove the property right when we got here 2 days ago. We drove it again last night when we were going to dinner, just looking at it, looking at the area. But and then Tracy, I saw your comment on here earlier. She's like, yeah, Carlsbad and all these. In fact, I went on a walk and I stopped in a vacation rental place. I'm like, what are the rules here? What are the rules? They're like, hey, you can do whatever you want, vacation rental, pretty much. Just file your paperwork that you have a property that you're going to Airbnb and just pay your taxes after your bookings and you're good. They're like, it's actually harder to do a regular rental in this area. I'm like, I got excited. I was like, ooh, say it again. Say it slower. She's like, it's easy to do it here, which is nice. So hopefully this helps as we're just kind of giving you different things to think about in this economic environment to grab deals that other investors don't know what to do. They think they're going to have to sit on the sidelines. That makes me laugh. Good economic environment. Recessions come in, doesn't matter. Bad things happen to good people. There's still going to be pre-foreclosures. There's still people that miss property tax payments. Those leads aren't going away. So what are you world class at? If you're sitting down to attack as a real estate investor, what lead sources are you going after? Some of them are recession-proof, my friends, right? So we just need to go after those.
David had this question here, Jay. Good information. How do you find these homeowners? So we talked about, some of the different strategies with pre-probate, the mortgage stuff with people having adjustable rate mortgages. We covered another strategy as well. But a lot of these properties you're going to be able to find are most of the time are going to be free and clear. So that opens up the floodgates with being able to offer seller financing terms. But Jay, anything else you want to add on there for David?
Yeah. So this lead was a blended lead. It was a high equity absentee owner lead and a driving for dollars lead. So again, when we got off the plane, we actually flew into Los Angeles, drove an hour and a half or so down here to Carlsbad. And then we went over to look at this property. It is, again, ground zero for a place to be. Nice property, nice property, nice property, nice property, nice property, nice property. Eyesore. It's not falling apart. The paint's chipping off, scraping the wood. Some of the wood looks a little bit worn. You can tell it hasn't been updated in a while. And so that's a good off-market lead. So that's that had 2 place markers, driving for dollars and also high equity absentee owner. So that's how that lead came into our path. And again, they straight up said to our client who brought us in to evaluate it, see if they could knock it down or see if we can help them knock it down. They're like, everybody offers us this. Every other investor's offered us this. And we're like, well, what if we could pay you what you want if you finance it to us? Because you really, like, they have other properties that they don't need the money. They're just kind of done with the headache. They know it's a headache. And in fact, other investors hitting them up 5,000 times has kind of put them in a position where we're like, wait a second, you said you could, yeah, what if you give us a 5-year runway to pay you off, a 5-year balloon, and we'll start making payments to you and give you the number you want. If I can do it with a no interest rate, that makes it workable for me. I'll get you the number you want, because you and I both know if you yourself put the 6 to 8 to 10 months into this property to fix it up, that it'd be worth probably $4 million, but that's $300,000 or $400,000 in 7-8 months fixing this up with all the permits and everything. They are not interested in that. They're interested in their number. So I just gave them a way to get their number. And now that's a deal where they've said that we've talked to countless investors. No one's ever spoke to us like that. But we're interested in helping you. Horatio, is it okay to go into a market where there's lots of competition and I don't have deep pockets? Yes, because you can get deals done and sell the deal to somebody else. You don't need to have deep pockets, Horatio. Absolutely, without a doubt. You can enter any market you want. Don't think that you can't. And if you're trying to compete against somebody to do a fix and flip and they have all the cash and you don't, yeah, that'd be tougher because they know that they don't need to go get a loan and they can do it on their own. They could offer probably $5,000 more than you. And that would be a lead that you missed out on. But if you could say to a seller, hey, what if I get you your number if you finance it to me? And now all of a sudden you're paying an extra 20 or 25 grand for the property on a deal you didn't think you could do. And now you pushed out somebody who had straight up cash. It's the way you approach it, which is what we're delivering on this channel. Like I said, we've got tons of videos that we just completed, about 75 to 100 that we just did. And we got another 200 that we're going to slowly start releasing. So if you like what we're talking about here and we're giving you new things to think about, then subscribe to the channel. And the ultimate form of, hey, thank you for the good content, is share our channel with other investors you know. The more, and we're going to do some special things. I don't know, Jason, like what subscriber number we hit, but when we hit a certain subscriber number, we're going to start doing some giveaways. So
absolutely
share it with everybody. And we'll keep, and the more you comment and tell us what you want, the more we're going to fine tune the next set of videos that we do. I think I'm coming up there again, maybe in August, to Indianapolis with Jason and Mike. And we're going to shoot a bunch more videos on the topics that you guys tell us you want to hear next.
Yeah. And hey, Jay, really quick, I know as we're wrapping up here, drop a comment in on what is like one of your major roadblocks right now in your real estate investing business. Is it leads? Is it cash buyers? Is it private money? Is it closing deals? Is it talking to people? Like, we would love to know what that is so we could craft and create, videos for you in the future that will help those roadblocks completely go away. So drop your comment in below. Is it maybe getting started, getting out of your own way? Drop that in, because that's how we create really powerful content for you. We don't want to just create random things that won't even be helpful for you. So let us know what is that roadblock for you. And comment below. That came up. Okay. Eric said finding money. Finding money. David West says leads. Okay. Ron, private money. Okay.
Okay. So we'll talk about that. One thing to think about. Jay, do you just want me to drop them with like some of the stuff that we do when we teach people? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. So real fast, because I know we're running out of time. Private money. It's what I've done the longest, is lending money, private money, hard money. Some of those things I just mentioned, I've been doing for 27 years, some of them for 15, 16, 17 years. And from a private money standpoint, you just sit down and people, I don't know who has money. Just literally pull up your local chiropractors and dentists and start calling all of them. Say, I'd love to, I know you have your practice, but I would love to maybe have you be a private lender. I'd love to show you what I do and have some coffee with you. And what we teach people is that you sit down and say, hey, look, I'm making offers on properties, but I'm writing 30-day closings and other people are writing 15-day closings. I simply can't close fast enough. So if you're interested, I would love to create a situation where I put a good deal in front of you, you fund it, and I'll give you a guaranteed return on your money. I just simply can't close fast enough. That is the fastest way to have a conversation with somebody who doesn't do real estate. Hey, I'm writing 30-day contracts. People are closing in 15. That person on the other end goes, yeah, you're going to lose every time. So that is the fastest way in 27 years of me living in the funding space for you to talk to somebody, have them understand in 60 seconds why you want to work with them, and maybe they can fund your deals. I simply can't close fast enough. You don't have to educate them. I do this, and it'll be a good deal, and I'll protect your money. That's beginner investor stuff. Say, I can't close fast enough. I'd like to do deals with you and give you a guaranteed return on your money. There'll be a deed of trust. There'll be a note. I'll also have insurance on the property, so your investment's protected. Something happens with the property, here's all your money. That is, think about this. Their assets, wherever they have them right now, probably aren't insured. You're giving them a way to work with you, get a guaranteed return, and also have insurance against it. Most of their assets don't have any of that stuff. You get that? So we'll help you on all this stuff. We just need to know what your comments are, and we're going to start dropping some videos based upon what you want, folks. And like I said, share this channel with everybody else.
Yeah, love that you guys are commenting, letting us know what your roadblocks are so that we can help you just completely take a bulldozer to that roadblock and move it out of the way. If you guys would like to, I would highly recommend it. We've got some spots that just opened up on the calendar. If you'd like to book a call, I'll have the banner pop up right below. It's at todaycall.com. It's a free call. You could talk with Jason and myself or somebody on the team. It's usually Jason. And when his schedule fills up, it kind of comes over onto mine. So you'll be talking to one of us about your real estate investing business. Would love to have a chat with you, see if we could add some value to your business and show you some different ways that you could be making money. You know, we know how to get leads. We are probably one of the best at getting leads in this business. Raising capital, not a problem. We know how to do that. Very easy stuff. So we've been doing this now for a combined nearly 50 years. So long. Yeah, I've got the gray little patches coming in as well. So we've been doing this for a really long time.
Not on the top of your head.
I know. I don't have anything anymore.
Where are those gray patches up there?
They're right here.
Oh, okay. Now I see them.
So would love to, chat with you guys a little bit more. It's a one-on-one call. Problem talking to people about seller financing subject to. So yeah, we talked about some of that on last week's live session. So we could talk a little bit more about that. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Courtney. Would like to pursue this on the commercial side as well. So we could talk more about how we get access to properties through asset managers, hedge funds, banks, all that type of stuff on another call. Yeah. But if you guys would like to have a free call with us, todaycall.com, would love to have you on the schedule and chat with you.
Yeah. And AJ, if it's okay, look, when you schedule a call, if you go to 2-day call, it's direct access to our calendar. 95% of you will talk to one of us unless we're both on vacation or on a plane. We want to know, what do you need most in your business? And we'll have a conversation, say, hey, work in reverse to do this, to this, and this. And if we can help you, we would love to be a part of that success. So reach out to us, schedule a call, literally costs you nothing. And it's one of the best investment moves for your business that you can make, from the standpoint of, you tell us where you're at. We just answered questions in casual conversation today on this live, filling in gaps for people. So if you really want to talk to us, just hit us up. Between both of us, ain't no problem, Tracy. Between both of us, we're approaching that 30,000 investors train mark. So train 30,000 investors. Do you think that the 2 or 3 items that are the biggest things for you that are in your path that you are having problems getting your rhythm on or getting over, do you think that we already haven't seen that 1,000 times? So in a casual conversation with us, we can be like, hey, do this. Like one of you said, finding cash buyers. Okay. Why can't you just go to your local real estate Facebook groups and say, hey folks, where are my Airbnb buyers? And when you have 20 of those, Airbnb buyers pay more than your regular cash buyers, because we don't look at an asset that a cash flow is a regular rental. we're looking at 2 to 3 times the revenue. We might pay every single contract that, or every single property you put in front of us, we might pay an extra 15 grand. What does that mean for you? That means that every contract that you write to sell to somebody else, instead of you thinking you were going to make 15 grand, you make 30 grand. There's an easy one for you folks. We have 9 different ways that we teach you to find cash buyers in your marketplace so that every contract you write is worth more money. You have to do less deals when your contracts are worth more money. These are all the things that we can help you with if you schedule a call with us. So for you not to schedule a call, I might call you out later on another YouTube Live. We're here to help. That's why we created this channel. Jason and I sat down, we're like, what do we want to do with this channel? Make people better investors, solve anything that's a roadblock, solve it for them, and then work together with you. Somebody said on this live earlier, hey, let's can we maybe do deals together? We're doing this to make you a smarter investor, a sharper investor, do things faster, stronger with less effort, and of course, potentially do some deals with you. There's deals to be done, and we want to help you.
Yeah. And Keith, I saw your comment there. I saw it from Freddie too. We could, discuss some of those things on getting out of your own way. Trust me, we've all been there before, my friend. So we could discuss that also too with these live videos. We're doing them right now. So we're reintroducing ourselves essentially on the YouTube channel because we were so busy with other things in our other businesses that we didn't have videos come out for a while. So we're reintroducing ourselves on YouTube, making sure that you guys know we're going to be delivering tons and tons of content. It's going to be 3 videos a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we're going to continue to do these lives here so that you guys, get a feel for us and get a better understanding of what these videos are going to be about and how they will benefit you in your life. And the great thing is once you click the subscribe button below, hit the notification bell because that will notify you, it'll ping you when we have brand new episodes appear. We are going to be doing some more lives, so I'll let you know. So if you're on our email list, I'll make sure that you get notified of that. And if you're a subscriber, you'll get notified immediately from YouTube on that as well. But Jay, I think that's about a wrap on our end. I know, you're at your Airbnb on a little bit of a vacation. So why don't we go ahead, wrap it up here, and we'll just, we're going to do another one here, I believe, very, very soon. So make sure you drop a comment. Let us know your roadblock. Would love to help you just demolish that so you can move forward.
Yeah. In the spirit of roadblocks, let's end with this. Literally just took a call before we did the YouTube live early this morning with a person that we train. And he had made, I think, in his real estate life, 5 or 6 offers. And they made like 12 last week because we said, here's the way we want you to do it. Here's what you're going after. And you're going to make offers on all of these. Some will, some won't, who cares? So whatever roadblocks you have, let's talk about them. Schedule a call.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, hey, it's Friday. You guys have enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have an amazing weekend. We'll be touching base with you soon for our next live. So looking forward to seeing all of you on the next one. But other than that, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye now.
See you later. Bye-bye.